Right, this was going to be our Christmas special. I can hear Mini Meltdown shouting. Yeah, one of these, but I haven't had time to complete it due to the illness. And Mini Meltdown was really looking forward to this one, so we're working on it. He's been helping me paint the Viking crew. Anyway, yeah, I should tell you about this stupid illness. I've got probably a cold. But I have an illness all of my own which nobody else has got. I might have mentioned this before and I'll probably mention it again due to the fact that I don't pay attention to myself. So I've got a unique illness. I got it when I was in my early 20s. I was a student. I got chicken pox. I was visiting a friend in hospital and I went all weird and they rushed me down sort of through the back door to A&E and got me seen to straight away, and they said chicken pox, but it's something a bit weird about it. Come back tomorrow, you know, just mention Dr. Such and Such and we'll have a good look. So I went back the next day and said, yeah, something weird about this. They went and got some other person. They said, no, it's not chicken pox, it's glandular fever. They took some blood. They said, come back next week. So I came back next week. They said, yeah, it's like glandular fever, but it's not. It's something else, which is related to it. Took some more blood and said, come back in about 4 days. Went back out in about 4 days. And they said, not glandular fever, not that other thing, but it could be shingles. Have you had chicken pox before? No. Oh, it can't be shingles. It's definitely not chicken pox. And I'm thinking, I thought they were the same thing. And then come back in a couple of days. And I was feeling terrible by then. They took me in and they press your bits and pieces, and there's two of them and they looked at each other like, whoa. And they whisked me into some strange ward. And I'm the kind of person who listens in. And I could hear the word hepatitis cropping up very often. They took a load of blood and they kept me in for the whole of the day, and they did quick tests on the blood. They came back and they said, you've kind of got hepatitis in that it is an infection of the liver and your liver is reacting, but you haven't got the hepatitis illness, but it's related to glandular fever and chicken pox and whatever the other one is. So something strange going on. So come back in 2 days or thereabouts. So I went back and all they did was say, you got something weird, can we take a lot of blood? And they got the largest syringe in the hospital, which was bigger than that bottle, I can tell you. And they took my blood, and it was alright at first, and eventually it felt like somebody was pulling a thread through my arm as the blood was being drawn. And I just sat there with a big smile on my face because I'm not bothered by needles and that kind of thing. And then a nurse went by with another nurse, and I overheard her say if they'd taken that much blood out of me I'd have fainted. At which point my stomach turned and I just went bleh and hit the floor. So anyway, they said, oh, you're going to have to come back in about a week. I said, I need some help now. I feel abysmal. And they absolutely pumped me up with vitamins, minerals, and goodness knows what else, which made me feel a lot better. And that was nice. And then I went back about a week later, and they ushered me into a specialist who said, Mr. Meltdown, every year around 100 new diseases are discovered, and you got one of them, don't give blood. Bye. So I went back to my doctor and said, well, what can I do? And they just sent me back to the hospital, and after about a week and a half or so, and they pumped me up with a load of vitamins, minerals and all sorts again. So whenever I get an illness, if I'm run down, that illness comes out in me, that strange illness, and just knocks me for six. So I'm going to be out of it for about a month, which should give me time to make these models, but I can't even get up at times. it's like having glandular fever gone wrong. You're just drained. So, not looking for sympathy there. Definitely not. Just explaining the weird world I live in. So this is what we should have had done by now. Well, like I say, mini meltdowns on the case, so it will get done. And I'll show you what I got for Christmas in a minute. Oh, and I should say, in those days, so this was the 1980s, they said, because this illness loves to latch on to other things you might pick up, never have those things beginning, or avoid those things beginning with V, sorry, this is how bad it is. Avoid those things beginning with V that you get in the form of an injection, because they're just giving you an illness and it might actually break out in you. So only have them under dire circumstances. That made the last few years interesting. Anyway, thanks for putting up with this. On to models shortly. See you again soon.